So Jerry says he's a little drunk. It's okay. We're at Susie's Bar again. Here we are, Susie's Bar. They've remodeled the bathroom. You're gonna go and check that out.
Did they?
Yeah. What, you haven't broken the seal? Haven't broken the seal yet.
Broken the seal yet.
She's got new wallpaper in there. Looks really good. Anyway, Jerry's on my case. He says, do the video.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The video of what I went through to get to move here.
Yeah. But more importantly, is as a friend, what us do being your friend, that's even better.
That's a different video. That's
about 5 videos.
That's 5 videos.
Maybe 6.
The trouble is, I didn't have any problems. I basically looked at what the requirement, this is 2016, I must say, it was 2016, I looked at what I required, I went to immigration, I went to the embassy, they gave me a list. Right? They gave me a list of things I need. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fill that in, fill that in, fill that in, fill that in, fill that, get that, and come back and, yeah. Give me my passport. 2 days later, I went back and picked up my passport. There's a visa.
And Thailand's regretted it ever since.
As have we. As have many of us.
And I'm going to laugh anyway. I'm going to laugh anyway.
Anyway, I'm not going to do it here. I'm going to do it when I get back home. So we'll give you the story when I get back home. So stay tuned for that one.
All right, Wazza, I just broke the seal. And damn, Susie did a great job fixing up that toilet. You were right, the wallpaper is great. So just let everybody know they need to come to Susie's just to see the toilet.
Yeah, so I shot a bit of a video lead up on Friday out at Susie's Bar. A little bit impromptu, but yeah, okay. Sort of what were my challenges? People want to know these things, and like I keep on sort of saying this. Everybody is going to have a completely different experience to the next person. That's the end of the story. You are going to have unique challenges no matter what you do. As I said in the lead up there on the start, basically the process for me was very simple. Like, I went to the embassy website in Australia. It said there was a list of, I think, 5 or 6 things. There was a medical thing, there was a police report, there was the bank accounts. God, this is over 8 years ago, so it's racking my brains. I even went online to see if I could find that same information, and guess what? It's no longer there. And even the process of getting an OA visa, after 30 minutes of knowing how that works and where it is and what it's all about, could I find a place to actually get that easily online? What happened there? Oh yeah, DTB visa or LTR visa, all that sort of stuff's there, but where's the OA, the one that you get out of country to come into the country? Anyway, somebody can tell me, show me a link down there. Oh, you can't put links, that's right. But anyway, moving right along. Look, I've got to make myself a coffee, so give me a minute. It's like it's morning, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. Give me a break. Okay, let's get this coffee on the road. It's got to be real coffee, I'm sorry, it's got to be real coffee. And yes, I like iced coffee. My breakfast, 2 muffins, banana muffins and a little bit of sweetener. Can I tell you that they don't subsidise milk here in Thailand? They do it like they do in Australia. Makes it quite expensive. Anyway, let's get back to this story, eh? Yeah, that's my breakfast. Okay, so there's probably going to be a few jump cuts as I sort of fumble through this. Yeah, you just want to know how it worked for me. There's a number of things that led to the process. As you've probably seen through the 8 years of video, it wasn't a spur of the moment thing, although sort of people feel it's a spur of the moment thing. That wasn't for me. We had an office over here, and I'd worked over here. Through that office, I got to meet people in Thailand. I got to like Thailand. Then I met Chanya on a business trip, and blah blah blah. That story's in. Just go and look at the archives. You can see it all. Alternatively, so like I had a reason, right, to want to come to Thailand, and you got to think about that sort of thing. What's your reason? Why do you want to move to Thailand? Right, it's a foreign country, it's a foreign language, everything's foreign, right? It's just not what you're used to. What would possess anybody in their right mind to make that decision to, basically leave the nest, leave everything behind and start a new life? Well, love is one, I hear people run away from things. Did I run away? I suppose I did run away a little bit. I 15 years at a progressive company, to be bought out by an American company, in a field which we had heavy competition from places like India and Malaysia in the IT support services. Okay, my level of support services was way up there, but that sort of stuff is now cloud-based anyway, and I can see, what we had as our private enterprise could easily have been moved into the AWS cloud with a bit of oversight and some know-how, and pretty much make my position obsolete anyway. That writing was on the wall, but that writing was on the wall in my career anyway. You're just always trying to be one better. That's probably why I never decided to job hunt or step up and move from organisation to organisation. I was at that sort of 45 to 50-year-old sort of age group that I thought, this is a good company. I'm gonna sort of retire here. That's the sort of stuff that was going through. That's what baby boomers. I suppose I technically am a baby boomer. We still looked at what our fathers looked at, and that was a secure environment, a secure job. Pay the bills, do all the right things, and so on and so forth. And I did the job. My relationship with Angie, it was a great 20 years we spent together, but we just drifted apart as we grew older. She wanted that, secure home life and raising family, and I wanted to be a little bit more adventurous. That's the more challenging part that you're going to have to deal with when you want to make these big moves. Why do you want to go? I wanted a change. I wanted to be challenged because 15 years in that career, I settled into a nice routine. I actually started to feel for the last couple of years there that I was paid well, and I was being paid what I was worth. From the industry standards, I felt that yes, I'm not being overworked. Okay, we did long weekends and things like that, and I was on salary, so you never got overtime and things like that. But hey, the company was flexible. Although that flexibility seemed to diminish over the final 2 years because of the American takeover, and it's not American culture in that sort of industry. That was right. I just looked at the writing on the wall. I had a lot of challenges that I had to deal with. So when I made that plan, I made a deal with, in the divorce and everything else, to once Sarah moved out, that I would then sell the house. And Sarah had moved out, but I had a sort of 16-year-old dog. I didn't want to euthanize him, and so I basically stayed in the house with my dog and took care of the dog. As you would do. What can you do with a 16-year-old dog apart from put him down? Anyhow, he finally succumbed to old age, and we did have him certainly euthanized, and that sort of set the ball rolling for me to make that move. Okay, I have no more ties here in Australia, apart from the legalities of being an Australian citizen. I've got a daughter who, basically moved out, 2 years prior. Angie, she moved to England. What else was there? Yeah, well, my brother, he lives in the other side of Sydney. My sister lives in Adelaide, or what at the time I think was living in Adelaide. Mother was living down there. Father was living over there. We were just pretty much a broken family, not broken, but broken. We weren't really a close family. So that's how life is for us. People have close ties. They're going to have this challenge of moving to Thailand seem a lot more difficult because you're always going to be pulled back. For me, I don't ever get the feeling of being pulled back to go back to Australia. Apart from I've got one thing I've got to deal with, which we've probably covered that in this video. Hopefully it won't go too long. We've already got sort of, yeah. We've already got 5 minutes before we started. Getting back to the story, like the challenges that I had to deal with was all up here. The process was done, right? Bank accounts, all that sort of stuff. There was just no complications in that whatsoever, right? The challenges I had to deal with was up here, like they had the house sale, which I, which I had to do because of the situation I was in. But on the house sort of sale front, okay, so that was started in April, and I was actually on, started the process while I was actually over here for a 2-week, vacation. Came back, and it's all been done. They get all the paperwork ready, so we put it on market. I think there's a video on there about the sale and all that sort of stuff. You can check that right at the very beginning. I'm pretty sure it's still there, episode 1, 2, or 3, or something like that, or 0. We did the sale. That put, like this, of course, that process of period. But I then went to Thailand again, and I'm over there for 2 weeks, and I've been sort of talking with my my boss, or my partner, or in partner in crime, I would call us. But we were just a bit of a discussion about the future of the company, and I just said I could that's it. I don't see any reason to stay in Australia. What's the point? I might as well hand in my resignation now and just get it over and done with. I've got something happening with the owners of Storagecraft, or the ex-owners of Storagecraft. There was something boiling there, and I was organising something with Richard to actually move in with him in Northbridge. So we did all that paperwork, blah blah blah. That's all ready to happen. Came back to Australia on the first week in August, and there was this massive rainstorm that came through Sydney and washed out Richard's main bedroom. So his second bedroom, which is where I was going to stay, basically that was where he was staying, and I had nowhere to stay while the repairs were done. Those repairs were going to take forever, like parquet floors and everything else. It was Northbridge. Anyway, so that sort of left a bit of a quandary. I'd already written my resignation, had my accommodation was all sorted out, but then all of a sudden it wasn't, and I had now 2 weeks to vacate for the so that they could take ownership of the house. I go, oh, what the fuck do I do here? Anyway, so I put my handed my resignation in, continued that process. Where am I going to stay? Where am I going to stay? It was really a bit of a call, and it was one of those spur of the moment things. I stuff it. I've got this money in the bank. I've got all this sort of stuff. I've got that. I've got this. Everything's done. My clothes are half my clothes. All I got to do is just get rid of the final half ton of rubbish in the house, while so they can take possession of the house, and I might as well just go to freaking Thailand. That was it. It was a spur of the moment thing. I might as well go now. I actually was planning to do it after I turned 56. Which was February the 1st, but things, one thing, this rainstorm, the whole thing, oh, stuff it. What does 6 months mean? It meant nothing to me. It's just another 6 months to you, for the rest of your life. So I just went and did the process. Went and got the embassy. What do I need? Ding, 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 ding. Gave her the path. 3 days later, I got a visa in my passport, right? But as I said, there was that 4 weeks. So that 4 weeks from August to September, while that process was going on. So I'm staying in an Airbnb for 4 weeks. They wanted me to sort of, come back to work for them and all that sort of stuff. You know how the whole thing process works. It's a spur of the moment thing. Really, I was telling them for 2 years the fact that, well, you keep on doing all these training exercises and how to do more in the company and blah, blah, blah. Hey, come on, what about when a person wants to retire, and plans to retire? People don't retire, people just job hunt, That's the sort of mentality the company had. People don't retire, people either sort of just, fall off the planet, or I don't know what they were thinking. And I just said, well, I plan to retire. I've got, a nice nest egg, and I got this and I got that, blah, blah, blah. I kept telling them. Why would it be even a process of, oh my God, he's leaving, after 15, he's leaving. He wouldn't, well, guess what? I gave you all the warning. Would I go back and work for them? Well, I don't know. If the money was right, I probably would go back. I've had a nice holiday now. Part of my mindset is I wouldn't mind venturing out into the wild world of, what I was doing now. I was quite good at my job, but, again, moving back into that 9 to 5 grind, that's there. Anyhow, but as I said, to close out, the biggest thing you're going to have to deal with is up here, how much ties you are going to be leaving back there, right? Everything moving to Thailand is a challenge, but it's not an impossibility. Right, bank accounts, you just got to talk to the right people. Your visas, your place you stay. This is community. Find your community. That's what you got to do, right? And to do that, you got to come and do a little holiday over here, meet some people, find where you want to leave that alone. Find where you want to live, find the location. That could be 2, 3, 4, 5 trips. I always suggest, and I've said this to many people over the 8 years, plan to do a 3-monther, right? Now, okay, I had 7 years backwards and forwards, and I had, in that 7 years, it was, probably 4 times a year, 2 weeks at a time. Sometimes it might only be a week. And then, of course, my long service leave kicked in. So that was allowed me to sort of take the 8 weeks, which I did as 2 4-week breaks. Again, getting the feel of just living in Thailand. That's why we don't do many travel videos. You probably wonder why we don't do a lot of travel videos. Well, I did a lot of the travel here in that first 2009 through to 2016. There is a bit of that travel video in the private videos, which is before we started the channel. For our Patreons, if you're a Patreon, you can get that sort of stuff. It's in the Discord, it's in the Patreon section. Are they in? No, they're not actually on the YouTube members page, unfortunately, but I think all my YouTube members can actually get access to that via my Patreon, via my Discord page. There is a special section in Discord anyway. Anyway, just closing out, as I said, it's the whole process is going to be a challenge mentally. And I don't know if everybody's going to be prepared. There's no way to prepare you mentally for the challenges. What you need to do is find the people that are going to be your community. Now, my community over here, thankfully, is pretty much Chanya's family and YouTube. That's how people have met me. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, I've met some great people in that time, so I put it down as a good thing. As to Jerry's comment in the beginning there, well, I think that they enjoy my company, I enjoy their company. It's just a mutual thing. We all have our differences. We're all from different walks of culture, walks of life, culture, whole thing. But we all have a common belief that Thailand was the right choice for us, for the type of people we are. And that's really the key to it. You've got to just find what works for you, and there is no rule book. And that's the best thing about it, and probably the hardest thing about it. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, and okay, so I'm going to start doing different closeouts in this video as well. Don't forget, we do have our Patreons and members, and I'd like to send a special thank you to those people out there. Just a quick scroll, and I don't know where it's on the left or right, how this is going to come through. And of course, why don't I have a look at this video? Why don't you have a look at this video? It's a good video, or this playlist. Why not?